Bailey Park in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, a very scenic park. And the Old Tobacco Company, R.J. Reynolds, pumping cigarettes into this small town, but a beautiful city nonetheless. Winston Tower, Bank of America, and we are not very far from the AAR Speedway, which hosts today's race, the Midsummer Classic, a DNQ tradition since last year, started by the series. And this racetrack is very exciting here in Kernersville, North Carolina. We are going to see a lot of action coming up here shortly. Hello and welcome to the AAR Speedway. I am Bob Duato here with Bill Chester. Bill, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, the guys who race at Billbridge on a normal basis had to drive about an hour to get up here to the Speedway today, but it is hot as hell and it should make for an exciting race.
There are great cigarettes up here, Bob. You know how much I love a good cigarette and a cocktail.
A good smoke, a good cocktail, great mixes, all here today at the AAR Speedway. This should be a very exciting race. We've seen in the past these guys turning about 4 to 5 second lap times. Today, I think it might be a little bit slower, but we also have maple syrup on the outside group.
We do. We got some LSD on the track. We sprayed it all the way down. You'll see my segment in a minute where I touch on this a little bit more. But we got some maple syrup sprayed all over that track for the traction. It's going to be good. It's going to make for side-by-side racing.
And like any other series out there, here's our helmet cam, which will be in the background. But Bill, Mr. Chester, let's look at the points here for the Busch Series.
Eric Allred is currently the #1 seed, followed by Mike Carver, who has multiple wins this season. Ryan Richmond's sitting there in third.
Yeah, Ryan Richmond actually has a stand-in driver for him today, a backup in Dale Balance. Ryan Balance, they call him Dale. Tim Norman in fourth. Hopes today is going to be a good run for him. Steve Morcillo, John Gerald, Jonathan May, Brianna Lyons, all of these guys in the round of 8 are here today to race.
This is going to be a complete shit show because one of them is going to make it to the round of 4.
They are, and while we're looking at that, let's take a look at the Winston Cup Series point standings, and there, we've got 4 of them here today, I think, so the 4 guys that show up will transfer into the final.
Yeah, Steve Padula, who's been running great all year long, except for the last race, which Buskirk won somehow. LJ McCleary, known for running very well here at AAR Speedway, and Eddie DeHaan, who has 1 win here last year.
Yes, and David Markham, who blew his engine up, ran out of funding, which happens. Same thing happened to Mike Medill. Nick Collins not here. Brad Poteet, he might show up. So that might be your 4 right there going for the championship at the end of the season. But let's go down and talk to a Busch Series driver who is trying to get into that round of 4. Thanks, guys. One driver that's in the Busch Series chase is Brianna Lyons. And Brianna, you guys have had a solid season all year. Got the pole at the beginning of the year at Miltona. This track a little bit of a struggle for you, though, but it is the first chase race, so if you have a bad run, it doesn't really hurt you as much as having a bad run later in the season.
Yeah, last time we were here, I did hit the pole a little bit, and it scared me, so I'm pretty scared to, race again here, but I'm going to try it out and hope for the best.
Now, the Busch Series chase, you have 3 races here before the final. You got to get in that top 4 of drivers here today. Do you think that's possible today, knowing that you're not as good at this racetrack?
I feel pretty good. I'm not scared anymore. I'm ready to just give it my all and hope for the best.
Now, your season has gone fairly well. Your dad helps you out. I know LJ McCleary helps you out, too, a lot with your kart. What setup changes you guys make to this thing today?
I don't think we did much, but maybe just tires, different tires, and different tire prep. And that's about it.
Well, Brianna Lyons hopes to be in that final 4 at the end of the season here, guys, for the Busch Series chase. Well, here at Advanced African Raceway, the Busch Series chase is one thing we want to talk about. All round of 8 drivers are here today trying to get to the championship 4 round. We've got this race, the Iredell County Fair in Millbridge, 3 different racetracks to try to make the final 4.
3 of the toughest tracks there are in DNQ. We got the Baby Bristol up here. We got the track Too Tough to Tame next week. And we got back to big old fast Millbridge after that. But I want to touch on Brianna Lyons, a DNQ diversity graduate, finally making it into the chase.
Yeah, and our race in August here is going to be the Gold Speed Products Maxxis race. We're going to run the top of Millbridge, so that throws another monkey into this whole damn chase.
Everybody's used to being on the bottom. Every now and then you got to get up on top.
Well, Tim Brisky's got some pointers here today about how to get around this AAR Speedway and some things to watch. Tim?
Thanks, guys, and welcome down here to the Tech Garage. I'm Tim Brewski, and I have not been around for a long time. I've been at a lot of gentlemen's clubs, in and out of rehab left and right. But you know what? The series has finally signed me back to $1 million contract, and I am ready to talk to you about some technical shit to take a look at here today. Biggest thing here at AAR right now is the heat. It is hot as fuck. My balls are already sweating as hell. I can feel it dripping down my legs and my back. I got mega back sweat, and my ass crack, I feel it rolling down my back. Anyway, what that means is we're going to have to work on handling here today. That is the first thing we're going to have to do is handling. So what do we do here at AAR Speedway? Well, normally at Millbridge Speedway, we run this motherfucker right here. This is a 6-incher, as you can see by my stagger tape measure. Right here, this is a 6-inch tire. Right here, which you could probably see. I'm not sure if you can at home. You know what, I don't really give a shit if you do or not, but there's 6 inches. That's 6 inches worth of tire. Now what this does here is when you're sideways on the dirt track, this gives you the grip. It gives you the bite that you need to get off the corner and get through the center of those corners when you have this bigger tire. So at AAR Speedway, we got the maple syrup, VHT, PCP, PG13 mix. What do we need to do here when we got this big left rear on this motherfucker? Where are we going to shit can it? That's what we're going to do. So like anybody else in any job that ain't worth a fuck, we shit can it. So what do we do then? We go to this bitch right here. This is a 4-incher. This is going to have less grip. Going to give you a little bit of better grip here out here today. It's going to help that bitch turn. And the biggest thing you got to worry about is the fact that when you have that big tire on there, you have too much grip. And already here in asphalt, we got too much grip. So we go to this 4-incher right here, which is a number that I'm very used to measuring on a personal basis. 4 inches is about the number that I measure about every time. But what that does here today is it allows you to get through the center of that corner, have less grip on the left rear, and loosen it up, because I don't think anybody's going to have a problem about being tight. Here are some other things that I'm worried about. One of these things you got to do when you get here to AAR Speedway is stay out of the shit. And you'll see that here in the couple years ago we ran this race. There was a bunch of carts out there, and you see what Michael Short Dick Medill, you just got to stay out of the shit. And sometimes you're just a passenger. Shit happens so fast around this racetrack. There's so many carts going around here that it is very hard to make sure you keep your stuff in one piece to make it to the finish line. Another thing here, it is hot as hell, and we're going to see it here. Like I said, stay out of trouble. And you know what? If you got to watch out, the caution clock either gets you, or just like David Markham did, the wall will get you here at AAR Speedway. You can't jump the left rears, and that's one thing you got to do. Another thing you got to do when you're racing here is stay in the damn seat. We see it here. Trevor Ward goes this shit all the fucking time. He's got his hands on there, and you know what? He does not care. He's got no tread on those tires, cold tires. He's spinning out. He's out of control. He's holding himself up. So the biggest things here today, technically speaking, is get your setup right. Make sure you can stay in the seat and get on that fried chicken, and you're going to win this race here today. It's hot out there, guys. What I would suggest you do is get some beer. If you're on top of the pit box, I would switch to liquor at halfway to make sure you make the best decisions on top of that pit box, guys.
Now, one thing we do here special at AAR Advanced African Raceway is we treat the track with this here PCP, this pure VHT. Now, what this does, we'll put this, take this off right here, and we pour this on the track. Now, look at how sticky this is going to get. It takes about 5 minutes to cure up. See how it's in liquid form right now? But if you touch it, it's sticky. See that? Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna prep this. And this is gonna allow side-by-side racing here at Advanced African Raceway. You can also use this on Chester's Chicken, which is my personal favorite.
That's right, guys, and another thing that happened here at AAR Speedway all week, the tire lizard was here, and it was dragging rubber all across this surface to make it a one-groove racetrack for sure. And then we're going to offset that with the VHT PCP maple syrup connection. And what that's really going to do is make this a one-groove racetrack and make the racing really terrible. And that's something that the series is really trying to do, is destroy all the racing that goes on here at this racetrack. So the tire lizard here all day, making this a one-groove racetrack. And then we're going to spray maple syrup all over the top groove. Should make for an exciting day of racing. Well, last year's champion Tim Nye is back, and this is some footage of him running the Cup race years ago.
He used to be really good at places like AAR Speedway and Field Filler Fairgrounds, also really good indoors, but he's fallen from grace here. He's really been a bag of shit, very reminiscent of Jeremy Methfield.
Well, Darrell Waltrip is back, and let's go down and talk to him. Well, holding it wide open and not much fun seems to be Timmy Nye's favorite way to race around the AAR Speedway. Tim, welcome back to the series. I know you've been off for a little while, but it's good to see you out here at AAR.
Thanks. Good to be here.
So anyway, Dick, what is it? You've had much success here at Field Filler Fairgrounds. Here at the AAR Speedway, you finished second last race. What do you have to do today to beat Carver?
Well, I was up in the air about coming here because I don't have ELs. I actually sold my last set, but luckily Chad Arner is getting me one tire. Brianna Lyons' dad is getting me another tire, and then I got some from Jeff Smith's son at work. And so I don't have them yet, but I'm going to get them bolted on here, and hopefully it's decent. So we don't know what we got for stagger. We're just coming out of the back of the truck, racing for fun. Like Carver messaged me earlier and made sure I was coming. And we always put on a good show, and it's always fun racing. So that's all. I love this track more because it's more of driver's track. It's not a tire game, a big deal and all that. And you know, I give a lot of credit to the Jamie Knopfs and Austin Yarborough and them guys putting on a great show coming to the DNQ. But I mean, that's the most stoutest competition in the whole country of go-karts. So I want to keep it fun.
Now, if you don't get those tires, you could two-wheel this bitch around this racetrack. You just don't have any wedge in it.
That's right. That's right, depending on where we put the other tires. So it'll be good, though. So I can't wait to come back.
Well, Tim Nye hopes to have a good run here today in the Busch Series race. We might be cheering him on. I'm not sure yet. We'll see if he gets the rest of his tires first.
Jesus, Tim, come on.
Well, downtown Winston-Salem, beautiful place to come hang out right before you head down to the AAR Speedway. We'll be right back after these messages. I love how he's
Crisp, cold refreshment. It's what Busch is known for. What are you known for?
Practical jokes.
Uh-huh.
Dang it.
Busch.
What do you get the man who really had everything? The one whiskey made to the standards of a king. And nothing has changed since.
Welcome back to the DNQ Series Midsummer Classic. Well, Bob, we're about ready to start this Cup Series race. They're running first here today at this very hot racetrack. And so far, the only two drivers in this field that we've seen win here are Eddie DeHaan Jr. and Dylan Ward. But Brad Buskirk was really fast. He had trouble going through LIS, but it seems like he's made it through.
Yeah, but I think his Pit Crew All-Stars have tuned that machine in, and he's going to be fast. But also his brother Trevor Ward, who's shown speed here consistently week in and week out. He's going to give them a run for their money as well.
And you know what? The youth of this series is what we want to touch about. The series seems to be in great shape with the youth movement that is coming through here. These drivers now are taking half the money that the big-time names are taking, and they are actually coming through here. So what do you think it is that we see drivers like Eddie DeHaan, Brad Buskirk, Brandon Up, who's actually here. These guys make about $10 million a race, but now we get the young guys in here. Trevor Ward, who makes $400,000 a year. What does that do for a team?
Well, it gives you a whole lot of money to spend on research and development. You see all the engineers, you see the big pit boxes, you see all that. That's where the money gets spent. But even better than finding a driver that'll take a little bit of money is a driver that brings money. And you see half the field in the Busch Series, they pay to be in that seat.
Well, the DNQ Busch Series chase is something that we're going to monitor very closely. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Winston Cup Series starting lineup. In row one by random draw, Elgin McClure on the pole, Eddie DeHaan Jr. on the outside pole.
Row number 2, Colt Buckner and Brad Buskirk, who always runs like shit at AAR Speedway.
Row number 3 has our two dangerous drivers, guys who have won here plenty of times. Trevor Ward and Dylan Ward will start shotgun on the field via the random draw. While the Winston Cup Series is the DNQ Premier Series, stock appearing fully built, Clone, Predator, Flathead, Animals. Clones and Predators 390, Flathead 375, Animals 400. These things are fast, they are loud, and they will rip around this racetrack here today.
One thing that we have not touched on yet, Bob, is these are the shortest straightaways in DNQ. all year long, and we fly around this track.
Absolutely. And when, the summertime, the times slow down a lot. But in the winter when we're here, we got the PCP VHG sprayed down. They are fucking hauling ass around this place.
That
Almost 5
LSD
seconds.
maple syrup
Yes.
runs sub 5-second laps.
Yeah, and here in the Cup Series, we're changing rules every week. So, that's the only way to keep these guys together. As a green flag is out, we are underway.
Whoa, we go 3 wide for second place. Busker gets chicken. He goes back. Dylan Ward takes third. Meanwhile, LJ McCleary and Eddie DeHaan Jr. gives him a run for the lead, but he gets passed by Dylan Ward.
It wasn't going to be long before Ward, and here we go. DeHaan back to the inside. This is a replay of a race we saw a couple years ago.
It was, and Eddie DeHaan came out on top, but Ward does the underneath, the cutback move, and he goes back to the point.
These guys are crossing each other over left and right, but we have a caution, and it is out for debris. Random debris caution.
Trevor Ward, one of the young guys, the future of our DNQ sport, has made it from last to third place in about 5 laps.
And the future of the sport is in very good hands already. We see it's in great hands. I mean, the young guys are coming in here, and it's in great shape as the guys choose going here real quick.
Yeah, I love the young guys. Such personality, such talent.
God, I'm so excited. The future is very bright for the Cup Series. We have 7 cars here. Can't even fill the field out, but the future is bright for the series. Here we go, getting ready to go back green. Eddie DeHaan Jr. is the leader. Ward on the outside. We're back underway.
Ward with a great jump on the outside, gets in that maple syrup LSD PCP strip and makes it stick. And he's giving Eddie DeHaan Jr. a run for the money. But Trevor Ward, the young gun, goes to the point.
And here comes Brad Buskirk, a past winner here, won last week. He's back here at AAR Speedway. He wasn't sure sponsorship woes were slowing him down on this race.
One thing I do not like about the Cup Series, Bob, is changing sponsors every single race. It seems like you have one sponsor for qualifying and another sponsor for the race.
It's sponsorship soup out there. It's just a shit show.
It makes it very difficult for the fans and the commentators like ourselves to really keep up. Like, I don't even know who's in second place right now.
Eddie DeHaan Jr.'s car was white last week. Now it's red this week. Who the hell knows what card he's got in there? So he makes some money.
White last week. He's orange this week. LJ McCleary, he's got one of the best sponsors in all of DNQ. A steady sponsor who has all year long the only one in the field.
We're halfway through this race already here, and Dylan Ward's putting on a clinic as usual. Buskirk in second, DeHaan third. Look how fast these guys are going. Trevor Ward has an issue.
Trevor Ward, it must be an engine issue. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not shift at this track, so we know it is not the transmission.
No, there was talk about that, but a lot of the guys said, let's not push the RPMs with these engines. We're going to go ahead and just hold it back. We're not going to shift as the choose cone is back out. And DeHaan Jr. goes to the top like an idiot.
Yeah, I did see a couple guys try shifting in practice, and it did not work out for them.
I agree. And for those of you at home that want to follow this full time, download the DNQ Sports app. Any way you can see the in-car cameras and all the times as we're going back under green. DeHaan Ward on the front row.
A big jump by Ward. This restart is under review.
It is, and we're going to have to look at that. He started inside the box, but the guy outside almost beat him to the line as we got the cone out there in the racetrack, but we're going to stay green.
Busker chopping wood, gets the little cone right there. What I want to point out is look at this G-spot tracker right here on the screen. These boys are pulling 2 G-spots consistently all the way around this track. You know what, Bob? This track reminds me a lot of the old Flemington Speedway. A big circle, you never really get the wheel straight.
Tim, down there, what do you think about those G's that these guys are pulling here today?
Well, like we touched on earlier, as the caution comes out, you better have a strap to hold your fucking head in, because if you don't, you're totally fucked. 2.5 G's is a shit ton of G's for these guys to be pulling around here, turning about 7-second lap times. I'm very excited to see who's holding their head up here at the end of this thing as the choose comes back out.
Busker goes to the top. Ward goes to the bottom. DeHaan goes to the bottom. And Trevor Ward, who's back out there, goes back to the top. Let's see how this works out. Dylan Ward made it work once already.
I'm surprised Buskirk took the top there. I don't know what he's thinking about there as we go back under green.
A great restart by Dylan Ward again. Buskirk gets down into second. He's going to give him a run for the money here. This is 4 laps to go. Beating the back bumper off of that.
Wow, this is great. We haven't seen anybody really pressure Dylan Ward for the win for a couple of years, and Buskirk's all over him.
He gives him the bumper. He gets past. Ward goes back to the bottom. He roots him out of the way. Eddie DeHaan's going to follow him through, driving like that chicken eating. Shit cans him and gets second.
Ward takes home the win. That was an amazing finish here for the Cup Series.
Wow, that was incredible, Bob. easily the best show that we've had here at AAR Speedway. And you know what? It's because of the young guns.
Well, no surprise, Dylan Ward takes home the win, but he almost didn't. Eddie DeHaan and Brad Buskirk beat the shit off of that back bumper at the end there. He almost did not win this race.
Yeah, one lap shorter, and Buskirk would have been the winner. But it was great to see, a guy like Eddie DeHaan, a small team, a self-funded team, can run up front at short tracks like AAR.
Well, we have some specialists. Mike Carver, another one. But let's go down to our third place finisher, Bradley Buskirk. Brad Buskirk comes home in the third place. Brad, you had a shot at the win there at the end with Dylan. Explain those last couple laps.
Man, it was hard. Like, my car would work for 2 or 3 laps at a time, and that's all I needed. He had position, and when I took the outside there, I knew I wasn't going to beat him lining up behind him. So it was a good race, man. He did everything right, and I tried to use him up a little bit and he gave it right back to me. So, that's what this place is about, bumping and banging. It was fun. It was good.
I'll tell you what, if you started on the top, at least when I did that one restart, if you don't get down right away, you're absolutely screwed. And I think mashing bumpers to bumpers is not really wrecking anybody, but it's just part of the deal. You got to try to get them to get a run, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely got to use them up here, and the restarts, that's when you make the passes. So I got lucky there, got a good jump on whoever that was in third, and was able to get down. Then it was just me and Dylan for the win.
Did you feel like the maple syrup up top helped you during the restarts or hurt you?
Well, I was down here a little bit early when I saw them putting that maple syrup on the top there, that whatever it is, PG-13 or whatever. I saw him putting them down there, so I knew it was going to have a little bit more grip. I didn't know if it was going to last till the end of the race, and it did. So I got lucky on there and used that to my advantage.
Brad Buskirk takes home a third-place finish here tonight. Well earned, guys. No surprise here again. Dylan Ward takes home the win in the Cup Series. Dylan, this is probably your third or fourth win. You had a lot of pressure from Brad Buskirk and myself at the end of that race, but tell me about those last couple laps.
Yeah, there at the end, I really didn't think I was going to have any pressure at all, but my tires just gave up at the end, and I was right there, and he was definitely faster than me at the end, but he raced me clean, and it was actually a really good race over here. I guess we didn't have too many carts, and it was actually more fun because everybody raced good, and we ran side by side for like 3 laps there, and that's hard to do here.
It's hot as hell out here. I am full-blown. I need water really bad. I'm sure you do too. Running here in the summer is a lot harder than running in the winter, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely really hard since I ain't been here riding like normal. The last time I rode 2 or 3 times before, and this time I ain't rode at all. And I definitely got tired of that race, and I usually don't.
Well, Dylan Ward takes it home in 30 laps here for the Winston Cup Series. Congratulations to him. All right. Well, the name that is legendary in go-kart racing at the Field Filler Fairgrounds and here and pretty much everywhere else is Brandon Knupp. And he's here today filling in for Zach Marquardt in the IROC Series. Brandon, you won the last clone race at the Field Filler Fairgrounds. Can you take home a win here today?
I don't know. We're off a little bit today, and I'm not used to having to run these junk tires on pavement, so that's a new deal for us. But we start up front, so I plan on laying a beat down as usual.
So now we know that when the Mark Martins and a couple other drivers that are main big names get called in to race out of retirement, they get paid a lot of money. How much did Marquardt pay you to run this car today?
I can't really disclose that information. I'm under contract currently, so maybe at a later date when we're sitting in the barn we can talk about that. But today we can't discuss that.
Now the track has been prepped with the tire lizard and maple syrup. How do you think that will affect the grooves that you're going to run here today?
The racetrack's going to lose bite the hotter it gets, just like every other pavement racetrack, so it doesn't really matter what you put on it. Tires take it back off.
40 laps here today for this race, a long race right here. It's hot conditions. What do you have to do to stay in the seat? Are you going to ride for a little while, or are you going to go right after the start?
No, I don't really have a choice. I start on a pole, so I got to go. Obviously, these little tiny baby racetracks, try to save yourself, but when you're used to drinking an extreme amount of Busch Light the night before a race, it doesn't really matter. You just try to hang on as long as you can and hope your head's not hitting a spark plug when it's over. And the new aero package here, entry speeds are a lot faster. Are you having to use the brakes getting into the corner? No, I don't really ever use the brakes unless somebody's upside down on fire. Then I might touch the brakes, but definitely no brakes. Well, Brandon Knupp's won the Rumble. He's won at Field Filler Fairgrounds. He's wrecked the shit out of some Orca and Busch cars, but he's also running both of that. But hopefully he has a good run today, starting for the pole. Good luck. Let's look at Brandon Knupp here. He's the last driver to win at the Field Filler Fairgrounds, and he won at the Rumble in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, he's got multiple DNQ and League 2 starts, but only one prior DNQ Dirt Series start.
And another guy we're going to touch on is Christian Moody, starting second. He is second in the series points right now. Could get back up to first, and Trevor Ward is back after suspension after his last race.
We got two young guns followed by an old bird, Curtis Markham, who's finally back from prostate surgery.
He is, and we'll see how that's really going to affect him here at the AAR Speedway. Well, the DNQ IROC Series getting ready to go. We'll be right back after the IROC Series starting lineup in row 1. It is Brandon Up and Dylan Ward.
Brandon Up, first pole of his career. Row number 2, Christian Moody and Curtis Markham.
And in our last row, which is a terrible car count, Trevor Ward. So thank God they showed up here to race.
Second straight last place start.
DNQ IROC Series established in 2016. AKRA and NKA rules, 390, Maxxis Pink and Blues. Brandon Up is driving for Zach Marquardt, who could not make it today. This race is run on a Sunday, and he is at the Cup Series deal racing. So we'll see how this is going to play out. Brandon Up, a seasoned veteran, though, just needs some more fun.
You know, I think even if he wins today, he started on the pole, even if he takes the win home, it's going to be like Ryan Preece. Zach Marquardt Motorsports is going to tell him, get your seats and get the fuck out.
Absolutely. His sponsorship woes have really hurt him. That car actually failed the LIS before the race started by 0.10 of toe, so they had to go around a few times before they got legally to start the races. You can see there.
Whoa!
Somebody jumped the start there, but yeah, they had
start is under review.
They had problems getting through tech.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to see here at DNQ because everybody's going to push everything to the limit, especially these IROC guys where everything is so close to begin with. So it's really not a big deal if you fail LIS, which happens all the time. But here in DNQ, you know, we make you get legal. The rules are the rules.
Yeah. We see Dylan Ward there having an issue during this race, so he has gone off to the side, so that leaves us with 4 karts. Green flag around the way. The odds of Brandon Up winning this race keep getting it better and better for the more karts that fall out.
Sold out show here at AAR Speedway. It is packed. Not a seat in the stands left. We see a young gun. Trevor Ward goes from the back to the point. The future of DNQ.
Oh, and he has an issue. That is both the Wards out of this race. That leaves us with 3 karts. Curtis Markham, fresh off of surgery, is just rummaging through this field. How long will that hemorrhoid or prostate hold on for him?
I hope it lasts about 20 more laps, Bob. But Christian Moody, look at this. Look at the talent in this young fella, Christian Moody.
Yes, another
the future of DNQ.
The future is very bright for DNQ with young drivers like Christian Moody out there racing. Brandon Up, an old seasoned veteran, having trouble finding funding, kind of like Greg Biffle right now.
Yeah, Christian Moody is showing these old birds how to get it done. I mean, I'm very happy that boys like Curtis Markham can still get out here and show them how it's done. But, man, he is getting his ass whooped by the young guys.
And you know what's funny about Curtis Markham is he is getting paid $12 million a year, and I heard that Christian Moody got his deal for $400,000. So that seems to be happening more and more at these big teams.
It is, and it's really paying off. I think what Zach Marquardt did wrong was hire an old trusty rusty like Brandon Up, who has a big name, lots of talent, but just he's about to get lapped by Christian.
Yeah,
Moody.
he's paycheck riding right now. That's all he's doing. He got a paycheck from Zach Martin. We talked to him earlier. He said he couldn't disclose how much he was getting paid, but right now he's getting lapped. So you know what? You get what you pay for, and sometimes, you know, these guys get old and they need some money due to their sports gambling habits or whatever, what have you. But
yeah, I mean, really your bar tab if you're talking about Brandon Up.
Yep. And these are the guys crossing the start-finish line as Christian's dad is telling him, you are picking it up. He's hauling ass.
No, I think what he was saying there was caution clock is coming up.
Yeah, that could be very possible. The caution clock, and as you see, as they go down the backstretch, the overtime line is that blue line right there on the wall. That is our overtime line here for today.
Yeah, which is farther down the backstretch than some other overtime lines, which makes ours better.
Yeah, so we're going to wait till they all wreck, wait till they pass it, then throw the caution so the race is over.
Yes. We will not race halfway down the backstretch.
Especially if it's getting dark. That is the only, especially.
Well, if it gets dark, we'll just let them race. But.
Yeah, absolutely. And there it is. There's you see Dylan Ward holding his head up. He just ran the Cup race, just won, and Brandon Up falling out of the seat.
Yep, that's it. Right front burned off.
That's what you know what? He got $5 million just to run this race.
You know what he was saying? That one finger, that meant one cigarette.
Yes, he needs a cig. He's like Dick Trickle. 10 laps to go for Christian Moody, and he can make history in the DNQ Series, being the only driver to win at every DNQ Series racetrack.
Yes, it's an incredible feat for a young guy like that. So much talent, future so bright. But one thing I want to point out, Bob, is we haven't seen it yet because we haven't had a yellow, but the pit stalls were picked last week off of last week's performance.
Yes, they were.
So no matter how good Christian Moody is doing today, and Brandon Knupp, who started on the pole, he does not get the first pit stall. And there's our 5 to go caution.
Dylan Ward has an issue out there.
Dylan Ward's got more issue than one. I did not see as many whores here this time.
No, as
he did last.
He's got a P1, so it's really hurting him right now.
Hate to see that. Hate to see good talent go to waste.
Oh, here we go. We've got 3 carts out here. Brandon Knupp has rejoined the field. And
Brandon Knupp burned down on Black and Mild. And he's ready. There he goes. Throws the nerf.
Yeah, he's definitely on the Black and Mild. He could win this thing if well, he's not really going to.
Look at the right front.
Oh my God, it's chattering tires. Christian Moody has checked out big time. He's going to win this thing as long as he doesn't step on it.
Cruising.
2 to go for Christian Moody. Can he take it home?
Nobody has taken fuel at this track. You go, the lap times are so fast, you do not need fuel. Fuel's not going to be an issue. Christian Moody takes the checker, and it's now officially won at every DNQ track.
Great run for Curtis Markham. Let's go down and talk to him. Legendary driver Curtis Markham comes home in the 2nd place. And Curtis, I thought there at the end, you may have something for him if you could bump him or at least get a run up top.
Yeah, I originally thought it was just going to be 2 of us, so that's why I picked the outside. Then when the 3rd one came out, I knew I was screwed because I was going to have to start on the outside, but I got by that guy. Before that 5 to go caution, I'd pretty much fallen out of the seat. I decided to slow up to try to save myself for the last 5 laps. The car was good. The guys did a good job on the cart. The drivers just got to work out more.
Now, I have the same problem. I'm not good on dirt at all. Asphalt has a totally different driving style and feel. Do you feel like you're a lot better here than you are on dirt?
I believe I am better on the asphalt than the dirt, but the dirt's fun. I'm figuring some things out. Can't wait to get back to Millbridge and give it another try.
Well, Curtis Markham has a great points day here today, and hey, you might run for a championship at the end of the season. Woo! Christian Moody takes home the win in the DNQ IROC Series race. Here you go, Christian. That's a winner sticker. Christian, you become the first ever driver in DNQ history to win at every racetrack that we run at in the Dirt Series.
Yeah, but I just got to thank everyone that's behind me, everyone at Track Tech, Randy Ransom and Chris Harris. I got to thank Dwayne Browning and Wesley LeBlanc for building me a great engine. Also got to thank my mom and my dad for always supporting me, too.
Now, the Wards were always fast here, but I don't even think they would have had anything for you if they could get to you there towards the end of this race. I know Dylan got by you there, but his tires must have been fresher, but this thing was on a rail today.
Yeah, it felt really good, and I had some troubles in practice, but my dad, he honestly just made the car great for me, and it was just an amazing piece today.
Now, this season, you haven't won a race up until this point, but this has got to feel good getting a win. And the IROC Series wins bring a lot of points, so you got to feel good about that.
I feel great about it, considering I'm the only driver to ever win at every single track, and this honestly feels pretty good.
Christian Moody becomes the first driver to make DNQ history, winning at every DNQ dirt track we run at in the IROC Series. Congratulations. Well, Christian Moody makes history being the first driver to win at all of the DNQ Series racetracks we've ever run. I've heard, though, next year, the series has already talked to Millbridge about running a roval. What do you think about that?
I prefer the term intercourse, Bob.
Yes, intercourse.
But it's going to be exciting because we're going to make these carts turn left and right. And you know what that means? Lots of wrecks.
It
Fans
does.
love wrecks.
It should be great. But Christian Moody has had a very good IROC Series career, but Christian Moody also becomes the first driver to ever beat an old man that is about 70 years old and Brandon Knupp. I mean, that's also another thing you put in your resume.
It's quite an accomplishment to be a chain smoker and somebody that lives in a retirement home.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the Busch Series has been very good this year. I expect Mike Carba to win here today. Who do you expect to win the Busch Series race?
John Jarrell has been very, very good here in the past. And Jonathan Mabey, his partner in crime, they've been very strong. But one man that was very quick in practice, Derek Allred. So a name that we don't talk about a lot, but like I said before with Eddie Tejada Jr., the small underfunded teams come to a place like AAR and they can run with the big dogs.
And Derek Allred won the regular season as well, so that is very good for him to have that going into that chase season with the momentum that he has. And John Jarrell, he did claim that engine last race, so he does have a fresh piece of horsepower from Austin Yarborough.
I also saw him chain smoking Black and Milds out in the parking lot, and no fresher Black and Milds in here at Winston-Salem.
Very true statement. The DNQ Busch Series carts getting ready to go on the field, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Boston Reed, broker owner at Lead 2 Real Estate Group in Charlotte. We know that when you consider selling your home, you have two questions. How much will my home sell for today? And what agent will sell my home for the maximum price with the least hassle in the shortest amount of time? At Lead 2, we know where the buyers are and how they search for a home. Today's tech-savvy home buyers are searching on the most popular real estate websites. Buyers may see hundreds of photos before they ever decide to see a property in person. We ensure that your property gets accurate information and maximum exposure on sites such as Realtor.com, Zillow, and Trulia. Get in touch with us. We would love the opportunity to come out, meet you, and show you how we can help get your home marketed and sold.
We are just moments away from the start of this DNQ Busch Series feature, and we did touch upon some of our favorites for the championship at the end of the year, and our favorites to win here today. But Brianna Lyons, a diversity driver, she's got the, in our hearts, we want to see her win here today.
Yes.
And there's a couple other drivers out there. Tim Norman's at home here today. He has a shot at it, at least starting on the front row. What are your keys to success here today at this racetrack?
My keys to success? You just got to survive. And then when it comes down to 5 to go, you better take a big old bite of that chicken and dip it in that DHT PCP maple syrup on the track and just put that right foot down, don't lift, and drive through every motherfucker in front of you.
Well, let's see how this plays out. Getting ready to see who's going to take home the win here today. Well, let's take a look at the DNQ Busch Series starting lineup. And starting in row 1, it's Ryan Balance and Storm and Tim Norman.
Row number 2, Jonathan Mabey and John Jarrell.
Row number 3 in the round of 8 is Derek Allred and Thomas Martin.
Row number 4, Steven Mercillo and DNQ Diversity driver Brianna Lyons.
Row number 5 is Timmy Nye, a past Cup champion, and Mike Carber, who has poised himself to be a champion as well. The DNQ Busch Series established in 2015, stock Predators 390. All karts in the same gear, Maxxis EL cat shit tires, and here we go. We are underway. Green flag for the most exciting event in DNQ.
Not a ward to be seen on track, but oh my God,
yeah.
we're 3 wide jumping right fronts.
Well, that's what happened
for 6th place.
You know what happened here today is we had a limited kart count, so we decided to, as the series said, you know what? We're going to let you guys run more practice, but we're not going to run heat races, so we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, which was a great decision because you get some no-driving fucks starting up front and getting run over by people who actually know what they're doing.
Mike Carber has won here a lot, and he's a guy to watch here today as we get going. But Derek Allred already passed Tim Norman. Seems like his shit's hooked up pretty good.
Mike Carber just got it done on the dirt first time ever. He usually completely sucks ass.
Yeah, and he was in the Coon Tune machine, so that was even more impressive. As you know, he's got to be pretty decent as we. Look at how small this racetrack is and how fast these cars are getting put laps down as Brianna Lyons pulls off the racetrack.
Yeah, Jonathan Mabey is completely sideways in these corners. That is not good for speed. You're scrubbing it off all the time. But I want to point out, Jonathan Mabey, a little heavier set fella, also has diabetes. And if you look on his leg, he's got a target for where the pit crew can go in there and stick him with the diabetes needle.
Yeah, and he's got a monitor on his stomach, so it tells him when his blood sugar's low, and it flashes on his Micron 5
digital dash.
On his digital dash, and it tells him you need blood sugar. So he's got that little spot on his leg. They hit him with it, and he's fine. As Tim Norman went for a spin there, the caution is out. Wow, let's have a look at this again. Oh, yeah, he just stepped on his dick.
No, he got shit in. Who's that?
No, he was sideways way before they ever got to him. Morcillo got to him.
Them cat shit tires.
Yeah, they get you. Well, Mike Carber's already up to second.
All right, why? All right, so Tim Nye is going to end up starting 3rd.
Yeah.
Or 4th, whatever. Come from 12th. Going to start 4th.
Well, the biggest thing is Tim Nye failed qualifying tech and had to start in the back, and we knew there was going to be a show watching him come from the front as we are back underway.
I mean, that's completely opposite of his love life. He went from 4th to 12th with his side. Who also has a kid.
Well, you know what? Now he's got 2. He is up to 3rd right now. He's paying for 1 and babysitting the other one as he is running 3rd with Steve Morcillo breathing down his neck. And you know what? He is really in the sunset of his career as we're watching this right now.
He is. He is the Derek Cope of the DNQ
You know what
series.
amazes me? We love Timmy at the DNQ series. Don't get me wrong, by any means. Just watching Derek Allred plow through the field. But Tim won the most Cup Series races.
We're wrecking.
And now we are watching. There's going to be an ESPN 30 for 30 on the downfall of Tim Knott.
Yeah.
As the caution is out for Ryan Balance driving for Ryan Richmond. Ryan Richmond, not a good investment there. Eddie DeHaan actually offered to drive for them, and they did not take him. They took Balance instead.
Which was smart. That was a good move by them. Yeah, at least they have a chance. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, I would say we're also going to have a 30 for 30 on Bill Chester's fall from grace as well.
Absolutely.
But I will not let anything out of the bag.
You know what? Wait till we have some sort of banquet. I don't know where it's going to happen, but we're going to have one again.
It's going to be big.
Derek Allred. Steve Morcillo on the outside trying to jump the start.
The restart is under review.
It's under review, but you know what? He did not pass the leader. He gave 4 spots back after jumping it, so we're good.
Now, Bob, we know we have a lot of contenders here. Oh, my God. Just shit canning each other.
And those two drove here together, so you know it's going to be a great drive back. Is Carver now the inside of Morcillo?
Now, Bob, we have a lot of round of 8 contenders. All of them are in this race. Are there any in a must-win situation?
Absolutely. The winner does not go on automatically, but Brianna Lyons absolutely in a must-win situation here.
Yeah.
And she doesn't go a lap down, so she's trying to do her best by doing a lot of changes. It gets down to where you get desperate towards the end of this deal, towards the end of the round, say, hey, we got to win this race, so we're going to really cheat. We'll do something desperate.
Yeah. Oh, God. There are tires on. We got somebody completely sideways. We got tires out on the track.
Morcillo is around. I think
that was our second-place runner.
Yeah, that was. Him and Carver got into it a few times. Not sure if that had anything to do with it. Let's take a look at the instant replay.
What do we got?
I don't know. He hit that tire out there and he just dead stopped.
Yeah, side-by-side race, and that was just one of them racing deals.
This is the only time you'll see a choose cone restart for the Busch Series.
Yeah, because they're all fucking terrible.
Yeah, it is.
All right, now, Bob, are these carts with less power, do these carts shift?
They might. I mean, if you get really slow coming out of 4, you may want to bump it down a gear just to get that drive off as we're back under green. But
wow, inside lane.
Definitely on the restarts you're shifting. There is no doubt about it.
Yeah, these are the shortest straightaways in all of DNQ, and these little baby tires they run on the left rear really take advantage of that.
Absolutely, and one thing you'll see here today is that guys will have a 4-inch left rear instead of a 6-inch that they run on dirt all the time. So that throws a little bit of a curve into these guys' setup.
Yeah, what's also different from your road car, Bob, is these tires have no tread on them. They're completely slick, and you see them here in the corners. You see them sliding a little bit. That's because they've got no tread on them, completely slick tires.
And you know what? We saw that here last year. Is we're looking at Mike Carver does not seem to have as good of a kart as Derek Allred does, and he's getting his ass handed to him right now in the ass hammer cart right there. He's just not getting it done.
He is. No, the meat hammer was left in the trailer. Derek Allred is just hooked up. He's just pulling that wheel to the left and passing all kinds of lap cars. Gets held up there, but it does not affect him.
Derek Allred is the best series regular we've seen all year. He's going to win the regular season, which he already has. He had a substantial lead. We don't get points for that yet, but starting next year, we probably will.
Yeah, we're under caution. This is our 5 to go caution, finally. I know it took about an hour and a half compared to the other boys because these things are so goddamn slow, but it's in front of a sold-out crowd.
Tim Norman needs to win. He's on the outside, hasn't won all year. As we're going back under green. Norman might be an ARCA All-Star here next year.
Norman, he's getting a little bit of extra driver cooling with that ventilation shield open, but it's also affecting his drag, and you can see I'm really slowing down on the straightaway. He went to the back.
5 spots on that restart.
He did already. Got that bitch tuned up. 2 to go.
2 to go for Derek Allred. Tim Nye's going to park his shit.
He's done. He's done.
White flag is out for Derek Allred, and this is a great season he's had so far, and he's going to cap it off with a win in the first round of 8. Well, Derek Allred takes home the win in dominating fashion. We thought Mike Carver would have something for him, but he did not.
No, he was one of my picks, Derek Allred. He was fast in practice and made it stick here. He put a whooping on them boys.
And you know what? It really seemed like he had his shit set up. He had the downforce, he had the setup, he had the tires. Everything was perfect just to beat Mike Carver, and he did it handily.
Yeah, he did. And Mike Carver's tough. He got it done last week on dirt. He's had his shit together here recently. Congratulations, Derek Allred.
Well, the Championship 4 is getting to tighten up with that chase. Let's go down and talk to our second-place finisher, Mike Carver. Mike Carver comes home in the second place. Mike, you've won so much here, but didn't have anything for Allred today.
No, he had it figured out today. I wasn't any good. My throttle was stuck wide open, so I couldn't burp it. I just had no speed because I don't know, just wasn't that good today. But good job to him, and I'm glad to see someone can beat me here, but I'll have to do my homework and come back and do it again.
Now, the chase, all red, has got some bonus points here today. You had a good points day. As we go through the rest of the season, to gain points is the ultimate goal to win this championship. It seems like you're going to be in the top 4 once we get down the season as you've run this year, barring any major issues. How do you race the next couple races knowing that you have to get points?
I guess I just have to try to finish the races is the biggest deal. We got all the Hollywoods that come, Yarborough and Knopf, and he ripped my nose off last week. But I don't know, they do this for a living, and I still was running with them. That's pretty embarrassing if you ask me. But we're going to give it hell when we get to Millbridge and the fair, and we'll see what happens.
Mike Carver hopes to win a championship this year. A good run, though, here at the AAR Speedway. Derek Allred. It's been a while since he's won a race, but he has won here today at the AAR Speedway. Man, this thing was hooked up. Usually we see Mike Carver win these races. He ran second to you. He couldn't even touch you today. What made this kart so much different than the last times you've run here?
Well, last time I come here, I struggled real bad. And this time I came back, did a lot of homework, came back and really tried to focus on getting it handling today. Once I got it set down, I could just cruise through the corners and not slow down much at all.
45 laps here today is a very, very long race, especially in the heat that we have here today. How physically demanding was it on you today?
It wasn't too bad. I was starting to feel it some, but I raced till late last night, got home at 1:30, went to bed at 4:30. So I was a little tired, but it wasn't too bad. I could have probably run a few more laps.
Now we talk about points. In the DNQ Busch Series, we're in the chase right now. This is big to get a win and get those bonus points to continue on in this chase. You're still the points leader you were before. You're still the points leader after this race here today. You've got 3 more races till you make it to the top 4. How do you go about the next couple races now knowing that you have that cushion?
Well, that last race, I had something happen to the chain on lap 2, and I figured it took me out, but just can't have stuff like that happen. You got to be consistent up front, even just be smart about racing with people, because you get wrecked and it's over. You get out. But winning a race, helps keep you up there anyway.
Derek Allred takes home the win today, takes home the Busch Light, and he gets to celebrate here in Victory Lane. Well, what a race we just saw here. All 3 races, very exciting with a limited car count that we had. We still had exciting racing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, AAR Speedway, these short tracks, they just have the best racing possible. So I think what we're going to do next year, get rid of one of these short tracks and put another intermediate on the schedule.
That's exactly what we need to do. This race was so exciting, we need to chicane it.
Yeah,
because
we do.
We want good, boring nap fuel
We
for
do,
everybody
we do,
that's out
we
there.
do,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Well, congratulations to our winners. The next race is back at Millbridge Speedway. We're running the high side, and this time we're going to block the bottom lane off.
I love that. I love getting up on top and putting that right foot down. It's just going to be a shit show. The bottom is going to be completely blocked off. None of that driving in the dirt. None of that driving through the infield junk. It's going to be right up there by the wall. See who's got a stack and see who doesn't.
And then after that, we go to the Iredell County Fairgrounds. And after that race, we know who the final 4 will be for the championship hunt. That's when it gets very exciting at that fair. It's desperation time, must-win situation.
Yeah, that's when everybody's going to bring out their cheated up shit. My personal favorite race of the year, because I love to see who's the biggest cheater in all of the land and who can get it through tech.
And also at the fair, we have Throwback Night. $100 will go to the best throwback paint scheme. We got a lot of throwbacks now, but I really think we're going to see a lot of fans and drivers throwing it back.
Easily one of the best races of the year, Bob. The throwback schemes have just been getting better and better every year. I can't wait to see who comes up with what this year. We've seen air filters fall off helmets. We've seen Kodak. We've seen all of the good classic sponsors get represented.
We've seen people go to the hospital at that race as well.
Yeah, we've seen people near death.
All right, well, for Bill Chester, I'm Bob Duato. We'll see you guys at Millbridge Speedway in August. Well, what a day we had of racing here at the AAR Speedway and in Winston-Salem. Great place to visit. We're out of here, and our next race will be the Maxxis Tire Gold Speed Products race at Millbridge Speedway.